Offline acquisitions methods. The offline methods that you use to drive traffic will lead to a web visitor directly typing in your Universal Resource Locator URL or web address into a web browser. It is difficult to accurately attribute traffic coming from offline sources to their original source with the exceptions noted below. A single visitor may be driven to your site from multiple sources at different times. Common offline tactics include brand awareness. Brand awareness is demonstrated by someone typing in your company's web address directly into their web browser, or when somebody uses your brand names as a web search. This means that the person is specifically looking for your company. Although not strictly an offline traffic driving method, brand awareness traffic is usually achieved as a result of multiple exposures to your company in diverse settings. A high proportion of brand awareness traffic is an indication that your brand is strong in your industry sector, and that you are top of mind for prospective customers. It usually results from a combination of all of the other online and offline activities. TV and radio advertising. Many TV and radio commercials specify a URL as one of the possible response mechanisms along with a telephone number and mailing address. Some web addresses add a specific trackable landing page, e.g., HTTP, your company COM-TV, to attribute the traffic correctly to its source. This is not a foolproof method, since many people may drop the last part of the URL and just type in the company name. Print ad magazine advertising. Almost all print advertising includes a URL. It is standard practice to direct the traffic to a specific landing page. Since the print medium offers more permanence, unlike a fleeting TV or radio ad, people may be more willing to type in a longer landing page URL. Public relations and media coverage. Various public relations activities can result in mentions of your company in print and broadcast media. Typically your site will experience a spike of coverage-related traffic after such events. Afterward you may also get additional traffic from people who later come across the information. Industry analyst coverage. Many complex industries, especially in high technology, have key industry analysts and market research firms that routinely put out reports and analyses of emerging trends, products, and services. If your company is included in these publications, you will be considered by a very interested group of prospects as they research their buying decision. If you are not part of the industry analyst reports, your company will be invisible to these prospects. Industry trade shows. Industry trade shows can provide the opportunity to speak and exhibit in front of a targeted audience. Many key influencers and decision-makers also attend networking and social events held in conjunction with such shows. Event participation. Event participation and sponsorship may raise awareness of your company with a particular audience or group. You can choose the demographics and psychographics of the events that you promote. Point of sale. Post promotions. Many companies conduct promotion and advertising at the point of sale or the point at which the service is delivered. Common forms include sweepstakes, contests, and games of various types. The web is used as the mechanism to complete the promotional transaction, allowing you to accurately gauge its impact. Client referrals. Current and past clients can be an excellent source of additional traffic. If a company has a specific incentive program to reward them for referrals, the mechanism for completing the referral transaction is done via the web. Outdoor advertising. Billboard advertising is typically used to promote the company or overall brand. Its limited ability to convey deep information means that it is usually limited to building awareness. Promotional items. Company promotional items can feature a web URL. Typically such items enhance your type in traffic but cannot be tracked directly. However, you can have a dedicated domain name on the promotional item for certain events, e.g., for a new product launch. Direct marketing and catalogs. Sending out specialized flyers or catalogs by mail is a proven way to market to prospective and existing customers. Activities can be tracked through to the web by specifying unique landing pages in the printed materials. A promo code that is entered by the recipient on the landing page can serve to identify them. Most people will type in this additional information in exchange for receiving the benefit of the promotional offer. The resulting mix of traffic hits your website or landing pages in a number of places. Some visitors will arrive on your homepage, while others may land deep within your site, or even on specially designed single-purpose landing pages that are not connected to your main website at all. The particular composition of traffic and where it lands depends on your current acquisition marketing activities. Each site's traffic mix and landing pattern is unique. Conversion. Since conversion is the main topic of this book, I'll briefly define and summarize it here. Let's start with the basics. A landing page is the point at which an internet visitor lands on your website. Landing pages can be standalone with no connection to your main website. They can also be specialized microsites that are focused on a particular audience and desired outcome. The landing page can also be a specific page deep in your main website. For purposes of this book, the term landing page will be used for all of these cases unless noted otherwise. A conversion happens when a visitor to your landing page takes a desired conversion action that has a measurable value to your business. The desired action can be a purchase, download, form fill, or even a simple click through to another page on your website. Conversions can also be measured by having someone interact with a particular feature of your site, such as a product demo tour. A conversion can also be measured in more subtle brand interaction terms, by looking at the number of page views, repeat visits, and the time spent on your site, or by interactions with content that includes product placements from your company. The main point is that the conversion action must be trackable, and its value can be calculated or estimated. A conversion rate is the percentage of visitors to your website or landing page who take a desired action that has a measurable value to your business. Conversion rates vary widely across different industries and even between competitors in the same industry. There are many reasons why they may vary, and many of them are not related to the visitor's direct experience with your website. External conversion factors. Conversions do not happen in a vacuum. Before people even get to your site, they will be inclined or disinclined to act by factors that have nothing to do with your site directly. Several external factors affect conversion rates. Brand strength: visitors to your website are more likely to act if they are familiar with your company or products, and trust your brand promise. Many companies spend enormous sums of money to have their brand penetrate the visitors' awareness. If they are successful, the brand serves as a permanent shortcut and aids in decision-making. Other companies without this status are simply not in the game, and will not be considered by many people despite their objective parity or even advantages over established rivals. Degree of commoditization: if your industry sells nearly identical generic products as your competitor does, then the main factor in visitors' minds will be price. There may be many competitors who offer identical products, and it pays for the visitor to shop around. So the likelihood of a particular visitor converting is lower. If you offer a very specialized or unique product or service, your website visitors will be much more likely to act simply because there may not be many choices, or because the effort required to find viable alternatives may be too high. Seasonality: some products or services are in constant demand, because they are either consumable, you will use them up, or perishable, they have a limited effective shelf life or a specific expiration date. So people will reliably replenish their supply, or renew the appropriate subscription. Other products are highly seasonal, or are only needed for a single event or purpose. For example, the cut flower business has a steady flow of year-round occasions, dates and anniversaries, but is largely driven by the ordering frenzy that precedes Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. During such peak demand times, conversion rates will be higher because the product or service becomes a must-have. For many seasonal businesses, the limited supply of available product can also drive up its value and desirability, e.g., scarce hotel rooms in high-demand locations, or airline seats on popular routes. Physicality and uniformity: the limit is often heard among retailers: why are we only converting 2% of our site visitors to buyers? We get much higher conversion rates in our retail locations. We must be doing a lousy job to lose 98% of potential customers. Of course, this is an apples to oranges comparison. The visitor to a physical store typically has already decided to invest more time and energy to the visit than a web visitor. Many of the visitors to a website who don't purchase anything would never visit a physical store at all, since they just don't care enough to make the effort. The physical experience in a real store can never be duplicated online and involves many experiential and sensory details. Before we even decide to buy something in a physical store, we must carry out a number of tasks: drive to the store, park, walk inside, take in the decor, experience the lighting level and temperature, compare our appearance to other customers, react to whether we are greeted or ignored by store employees, physically interact with potential products that we are considering, and so forth. This is a completely different experience than sitting in front of a computer and surfing the internet. We stare at a tiny screen compared to our normal field of vision, and decipher information that is organized typically not around our needs, but along the organizational and usability concepts of others. We rarely get to interact with the products beyond clicking on their small thumbnail image to get a larger zoom view. Some products and services must be experienced before they are bought. Imagine buying an expensive suit without feeling the texture and thickness of the fabric, and feeling the construction and drape of the materials over your particular body. You will probably need to have the suit customized and tailored to your build, and would not wear the pants and hemmed out of the store. Other products like books or bottles of wine cannot be sampled without consuming them, and are more easily sold online. You are buying their contents based on the packaging and reputation. They depend on their cover or label, and the recommendations and reviews of trusted friends or expert authorities. Because they can be reduced to images and written text, such products translate well to a web buying experience, and are much more likely to have higher conversion rates. You do not typically worry about their contents, since they should be uniform. Intention and commitment: not everyone who visits your site has the same intention and commitment to act. As you will see in the following chapters, visitors' frame of mind depends on their demographics, psychographics, personality type, role, time of day, day of week, physical environment and the presence of distractions, and their position in the buying decision cycle. Someone who is surrounded by coworkers and researching a gift idea on their lunch break at work will behave very differently than someone who is alone at night in their home and is looking for the lowest price vendor for a specific product. People are often looking for an intangible package that represents the best value proposition. Of course, price is often an important consideration, but other factors such as the warranty, in-stock availability, shipping speed and methods, positive reviews, available financing and payment terms, and accepted payment methods all enter into this equation. People arrive at your website with all of these factors already influencing them to various degrees. And all of this happens before they even see your landing page. So don't forget that your website does not exist in a vacuum. Your online visitors, like any other traveler, are already bringing a lot of baggage with them. On-site conversion factors: as we just discussed, visitors will arrive at your website with their own needs, perspectives, and emotions. Since you don't know very much about them individually, how can you influence them with the design of your site? This is not exactly new ground. The field of direct marketing (DM) is all about getting people to act and respond to offers. Since basic human nature has not changed, we can apply the well-tested lessons of DM to the online sphere. People do not often make rational decisions. In fact, the capacity for abstract rational thought is only a recent evolutionary addition to our brains. We have mainly gotten by on our emotions and gut feelings. We may think that we are approaching something rationally, but most of the time we use after-the-fact rationalization to justify our intuitive and emotional decision-making. Example: the case of the sleepy dog. A tourist was driving on deserted rural road, and happened upon a cabin. An old man was smoking a pipe in his rocking chair on the porch, while a droopy hound dog dozed by his side. The tourist got out of his car, and struck up a conversation with the old man. Periodically as they talked, the dog would let out a long plaintive howl, and would then settle back down to sleep. After this happened a few times, the tourist finally asked the old man, "What's wrong with your dog?" The old man answered, "Oh, don't mind him, he's just lying on a nail." The flabbergasted tourist asked, "Why doesn't he move?" The old man thought for a minute and responded, "I reckon it don't hurt badly enough." It is a well-known maxim in marketing that people who are comfortable enough with their current situation, like the hound dog in the story, are not good prospects for buying goods, services, or ideas. They simply don't care enough to make a change. All of the specific strategies and tactics that you will learn later in the book are aimed at influencing basic human emotions and moving your visitors off their comfortable spot. Direct marketers Bob Hacker and Axel Anderson have defined several key copywriting concepts that motivate people to act: fear, greed, guilt, exclusivity, anger, salvation, or flattery. Not one of these motivations is rational. All of them are rooted in our fundamental and unchanging emotional nature. Note, the best way to get visitors to act is to appeal to their fundamental emotional motivations. At SiteTuner.com we have developed a set of hierarchical scales to help us rate websites. They are not precise instruments, but rather tools that help us to focus outward on our website visitors and then inward on their emotional state. Each scale is a continuum of feelings and internal states. A specific design change proposal must be explainable within these scales, and should attempt to move the needle to the right. Although the scales are distinct, changes that affect one scale will often have an impact on the others as well. Anxiety versus trust. This is the most basic scale, and addresses our feelings of safety and security. You would not think that sitting in front of a web browser would produce much anxiety, but you would be wrong. Giving up personal information, allowing people to contact us, and paying by credit card all have significant fears associated with them. How will my information be used? Will I get on a spam list? Will I be the victim of identity theft? Will the purchase arrive undamaged and on time? Will I actually get what I ordered? Will unexpected fine print charges be added to my order without my knowledge? Will anyone respond if I have a problem after buying? Will it be easy to dispute or cancel my transaction? Anything that you can do to minimize anxiety will help conversion. This includes clear privacy policies, detailed shipping directions, unconditional return policies, client testimonials, certifications, and trust symbols that show that you conduct business with integrity. Confusion versus clarity. Some sites are simple and intuitive. Most are akin to a busy marketplace with loud hawkers vying for your attention. You are assaulted with bright colors, boxes, flashing advertisements. You are overloaded with too many choices and links. You are drowned in too much text displayed in tiny fonts. You are not sure how to navigate the site and find the information that you need. Is this a button that I can click or just a graphic? Does Buy It Now just put something in my shopping cart, or does it actually charge me and place my order? Where am I in the site? How do I get back to the page that I read earlier? Which of these 20 links should I click? Why does this page text not address my particular needs? Often too many internal company interests compete for real estate and prominence on important pages. Over time nothing ever gets taken away. New items are simply added to the web page. Unfortunately, this often leads to a phenomenon known as the tragedy of the commons. If too many shepherds have unrestricted access to the unregulated common grazing lands, the sheep will overwhelm the grass's ability to regenerate itself, destroying it for everyone. The individual self-interest of shepherds undercuts the common good,